A warm bath in Ukraine's ice-cold winter, in a mural painted by graffiti artist Banksy. Residents of the bombed-out village of Horenka, northwest of Kiev, say they appreciate the symbolism of the artwork. Tatiana Reznichenko says she met the secretive artist, who never shows his face, and his team.
I
offered them some instant coffee. We went up to my flat. I invited them in because they wanted to see what conditions we live in, how we live. We went up to the flat and drank some coffee. I invited them in because it was cold. I had to warm these people somehow. It was just a human gesture to get them warm.
The mural of a man scrubbing his back in the tub is on the ground floor of what was an apartment block before it was bombed by Russian forces back in March. It's one of 7 Banksy has confirmed that he spray-painted on Ukraine's scarred walls. Horenka was once on the front line, where Russia's assault on the capital was halted.
For me, it means washing off all the dirt of the Russian Federation that just... I don't know what we did. Why do the Russians hate us? We didn't do any harm to them. And this drawing makes me feel as if I have cleansed myself of the dirt that descended on us.
Reznichenko has a wood stove in her apartment, but like many Ukrainians, she lacks electricity, heating and running water as winter sets in. Despite the problems, she and her neighbours remain defiant. Ukrainians adapt to everything, she says, using candles, sharing each other's electricity and getting water delivered. Banksy has also unveiled murals in the towns of Hostomel and Borodyanka.
2 buses were set on fire on Monday in South Africa's Cape Town. Those blazes taking place as local taxi associations embarked on a 2-day strike. The Western Cape provincial government recently announced it was terminating an incentive scheme for taxi drivers after little more than a year due to a lack of funding. That triggered uproar from the taxi associations, who called for the strike, which started on Monday. By 6 a.m, there were long queues at bus stops. Nandipa Hlalana says she was waiting at a stop when a man approached and started shooting at buses, prompting people to escape through the vehicle's windows.
I'm heartbroken because we almost got injured. We did not even know what to do. I am terrified because my thoughts are with the other passengers that I know. I am worried because we will not be able to attend work when taxis don't operate. We can't take the risk because of the gunshots. My friend also escaped through the window.
A spokesperson for one bus company said they did not know who was responsible. The associations were not immediately available for comment. Manager of Safety and Security for Cape Town, J.P. Smith, confirmed that there had been several incidents, but said the situation was now under control.
As Bob Iger steps back into the top role at Walt Disney, one of the CEO's first tasks will be to slow the losses at its streaming service. The legendary chief executive, who transformed Disney into the most powerful entertainment company on the planet, will need to show how quickly he can cut costs and restore profitability, analysts say. In the last reported quarter, losses for the streaming platform more than doubled to $1.5 billion, with shares dropping 40% so far this year. Disney Plus has become a sore spot for the media company, as it spends heavily on content to attract subscribers. Analysts are also pointing to ESPN as another target for deep cost cuts, including a review of all the upcoming sports rights as the network loses cable subscribers. The return of Iger, who led the company for 15 years and launched Disney Plus in 2019, came as a shock to investors Sunday evening as Disney announced CEO Bob Chapek's ouster. But some brokerages are raising concern over Iger's 2-year contract, questioning whether it's enough time to transform the business and find a successor. Iger's appointment evoked the return engagement of other iconic CEOs, such as Steve Jobs, when he went back to run Apple. Dan Ives, the managing director for Wedbush Securities, says for Disney, bringing back Iger makes sense.
I think he understands this company basically better than probably anyone on earth. He has instant credibility, but this is not going to be easy. I mean, this is going to be a turnaround story for the next 12, 18 months. And similar to when Jobs took back over Apple, I think Iger faces some difficulties ahead, but ultimately this is his baby. And he, I think ultimately saw what was happening, and really the clock struck midnight. It was time for him to get back in the pilot seat.
Iger's return has given a boost of confidence to investors, with shares up more than 5% in midday trading on Monday.
A 5.6 magnitude earthquake struck Indonesia's West Java province on Monday, killing scores and reducing buildings to rubble. The quake struck on land in Cianjur town, which is located about 45 miles from the capital, Jakarta. Hundreds have been injured, with hospitals having to treat many outside. Herman Schuermann is a local government official. He said over 700 people are injured, but it was difficult to keep count. Rescue efforts were underway, with rescuers trying to reach survivors trapped under rubble. But officials have warned that electricity is down in certain areas, disrupting communications efforts, and that access to some areas had been blocked by landslides, hampering evacuation efforts. In less than 2 hours after the quake hit, 25 aftershocks were recorded, according to the Weather and Geophysics Agency. In Jakarta, offices were evacuated, with workers saying they felt the buildings shake. Indonesia straddles the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, a highly seismic active zone, meaning it is prone to earthquakes.
New UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has ruled out striking a trade deal with the EU based on aligning with the bloc's laws. He spoke Monday to a gathering of business leaders.
On trade, let me be unequivocal about this. Under my leadership, the United Kingdom will not pursue any relationship with Europe that relies on alignment with EU laws. Now, I voted for Brexit. I believe in Brexit. And I know that Brexit can deliver, and is already delivering, enormous benefits and opportunities for the country.
Sunak made the denial following weekend media reports. The Sunday Times newspaper said a deal based on alignment was being considered. It said that would be similar to the arrangement for Switzerland, which has access to the single market in return for adhering to certain budget conditions. Some of Sunak's Conservative lawmakers responded angrily, saying alignment would mean subservience to EU rules. On Monday, the UK leader also promised further action on illegal migrants.
Well, I think the country's #1 priority right now, when it comes to migration, is tackling illegal migration. It's stopping people coming here illegally on small boats across the channel. Because when people see that happening, it undermines trust in the system. It doesn't seem fair that people are able to break the rules.
Britain left the EU in 2020, but has faced continued wrangling over the shape of its future trading relationship with the bloc.